This is going to be Opening of the Dark Portal as a Guardian Druid. This dungeon had to happen at some... Oh, sorry, right, this is Timewalking Opening of the Dark Portal. So a little bit more exciting than normal, maybe, but it's still the Black Morass. There's not much to it. This had to happen at some point. It's funny the timing worked out that it does happen today, but yeah, so... Same format as Violet Hold. 3 portal waves, or sorry, it's five waves of portal guardians, then a boss, repeat 3 times, then dungeon is done. Not really any more exciting as a tank than any other dungeon roll. But it's a dungeon in the game, so I feel the need to include it. One nice thing is, because I happened to come here as a druid, I don't have to deal with my character looking all weird and human when I play as a different race. I can just look like a normal bear. All of this stuff that got pulled from the entrance to here is non-elite, just like normal, normal little nothing enemies. It does seem like it was a little more aggressive on Timewalking than it would be when I normally do this dungeon, because usually I don't get this whole train of stuff coming after me on the ride to where Medivh sits. It's not a big deal, though. It goes down super easy. I think I heard Holy Priest noises. Who else is with me? Got some sort of shaman. 2 other things with mana bars. One is a mage. The other might be a mage. Or a Retribution Paladin? Am I seeing a pink dot? Everyone's too close together on the minimap, so I can't tell who's what. I'm not hearing Retribution Paladin noises. Shaman, Mage, Priest, and yeah, that looks like a Paladin dot to me. Is he using his normal abilities? Oh hey, all Azralan group here, by the way. I'm not sure if I ever checked the guild name to see if they were all the same. I see 3 different guild names on screen, so no, they were not. Doesn't necessarily mean anything, but them all being from the same server almost certainly means they came in together. At least some of them did. It does seem awfully unlikely that I would be randomly placed with 4 people from the same server without them coming in together. But all I can do is assume. Wild Charge! Fun to use in travel form. Big leap forward. However, it does disable my... so Wild Charge is an ability that changes based on what shapeshift form I'm in. When I'm a bear, it works like a warrior's intercept, basically, but only has 1 charge. In travel form, I leap forward quickly. In cat form, it's like Shadow Step. In caster form, it moves me to another party member's location, so it's like an inverse leap of faith, I guess. Interesting ability. But yeah, I used it in travel form, so I couldn't use it in bear form. Pulling in some extra wildlife is a way that I'm trying to make this a little bit more exciting. It doesn't really do much. See portal, run to portal, fight Dragonkin there for a while, repeat 18 times, few bosses in between, and dungeon's done. Never any threat of failure. Slightly closer to having some threat of failure in Timewalking than on normal, but still. What's that weird wheel mount thing? That's strange. Don't know if I've seen that one before. Mounts are one of the many lists of collectible items that you can focus on and try to fill out in this game. Mounts, pets, toys, appearances. For some reason, toys and appearances are the only ones of those that I find myself interested in. I just have enough pets to get pet battle world quests and stuff done. don't really care about mounts for some reason. I'll collect them if it's convenient, but I don't know. But toys are fun and unique. They do all sorts of cool stuff. And appearances let me play dress up better. Bloodlust. Fair enough. Got a boss here. Might as well bloodlust if we have it. Greater Earth Elemental, sure, that'll pull threat off of me. Does not matter. I don't think Chronolord Deja needs to be faced a particular way. Yeah, the only time something like an Earth Elemental, or a Balanced Druid Treants, or like Taunting Hunter Pet or whatever is a problem is if I need specific facing or positioning on a boss, I guess. Other than that, I can just let them take the threat off me and it's fine, as long as it's not going to an actual party member. Doesn't really matter if, as the tank, I'm not the one with the threat. I'm doing that thing where I put campfires under people. That's what my druid, druid looks like in human form. Medivh will be nice and toasty while he's opening the dark portal. This portal is way smaller on this side than it is on the Outland side. I also think it's a lot smaller here in the Black Morass than it is in what's that place called? The Blasted Lands, where it actually is out in the world. Which I guess used to be the Black Morass. Then the portal opened and Hellfire Peninsula spilled out into Azeroth or something. And now it looks all different. This place just looks like Swamp of Sorrows to me, which is the zone immediately north of Blasted Lands, so I guess that makes sense. The Swamp of Sorrows just extended farther south before this portal was opened. But then the lands got blasted, and it turned it into a different biome. I've never tried to, like, line up landmarks on this map with stuff I can see out in the world, other than the Dark Portal itself. Might be fun to do someday. Alright, where are we? 8 out of 18? This dungeon only takes like 20 minutes, but it always feels so much longer than that because it's just the same thing over and over. If this were tuned like that Assault on Violet Hold I just did, would it be more exciting? Sure, yeah. If like everybody had to work harder, if Medivh was actually under threat from these things, if I had to worry about my health bar, if I had to worry about threat, if damage dealers had to worry about not getting one-shot by nasty abilities, then yeah, just like give people some activities to do, and this could be a perfectly fine, exciting dungeon. Another nice thing about playing Druid in here is that changing to travel form is instant. I don't have to fill up the cast bar or whatever with getting onto a mount, because I am the mount. I just change into it instantly. I am the mount literally because other people can ride me. It's always so funny when that happens. That was not a feature when I played this game years ago. I'm so happy that it's something that was added. Rideable druids is something that I didn't realize this game needed, but it definitely did. I'm not a super huge fan of this moose form, though. There's a glyph I can get that'll change it to a different sort of thing. At least one, there may be multiple. But my scribe does not have enough skill to make that glyph yet. So I'm stuck as a moose for now. Non-High Mountain Tauren druids get different forms. Trolls get to be a dinosaur, I think. Everybody else gets to be a deer, I want to say. Used to be a cheetah for night elves, and actually maybe all druids? But that changed at some point. I think there is a glyph that changes it back to the cheetah, but it's like a really old, low-resolution model that doesn't look too great. That's not the one that I want. Temporus, okay, your second boss. Couldn't tell you ahead of time any ability that any of these bosses do, because I don't think they really do much. I saw that Temporus knocked me back. Oh, he has a spell reflect. Okay, that's worth noting. Is it, though? Is it having an effect on anything? I do see us stacking what's probably a bleed effect, so the longer I'm fighting him, the more constant damage I'm taking. Yeah, okay. So that's fair. Thanks, Wild Charge. Being a warrior or druid, I get to just ignore knockbacks and charge straight back to the thing that knocked me back. Always very handy. And he does not do it more often than my cooldown is up. Every boss in this game is just like all defiance all the time. Oh, you may have killed me, but it doesn't matter. We will still take over this world, blah blah blah. You're inferior to me, mortal. They always call you mortal. It gets a little silly after a while. That is a noisy rocket. Not as noisy as the mechanical wheel thing that somebody was riding earlier, though. Maybe the same person. Our shaman's not with us. What's she doing? Just hanging out with Medivh there? There she is. Now our paladin's not with us. What's he doing? Just sitting and doing nothing. Divine Storm on single target. That's not what you want. That's why I'm not hearing the paladin noises I'm expecting, because he's just always Divine Storming instead of, what is it, Templar's Verdict, I think? Is the single target alternative. Been a while since I played Retribution. I did it a little bit, but my paladin has too many other things to focus on to do that much. It's either Templar's Verdict or Blade of Justice. One of those two. One builds Holy Power, one spends it. Retribution's cool. It's actually more fun than I expected. A lot of utility, like support abilities. I feel like I'm more than just a damage dealer when I'm playing Retribution, but the actual damage dealing portion of the class is pretty simple from what I saw. Not a whole lot to it. Not that exciting to play, but the utility is what makes it interesting. I can dispel some stuff, I can lay on hands in a pinch, I can Blessing of Protection in a pinch, I can do all sorts of stuff. I'm talking about playing a paladin here because I have nothing to say about this. It's the Black Morass. What do you want? 17 out of 18 rifts opened. Last one before final boss. There, I heard the noise I wanted to hear. That, whatever it is, one of those two abilities. A distinctive sort of clang of the sword coming out of the ground. Time Warp. This time we get mage-flavored Bloodlust. Didn't get it for second boss. The cooldown, the debuff probably wasn't gone. Because yeah, this doesn't take long enough to Bloodlust every boss. That's an Enrage. I can dispel those if I can find my button. I always forget where my Soothe button is on my Druid. It's up 5, but I don't use it often enough to remember that. I go and look for it, and by then it's too late. So the same Enrage has to happen a second time for me to actually dispel it. Sad Breath, that's a frontal attack, so face Aeonus away from everybody else, I guess. That's about all there is to know. There's an Enrage, but I'm busy being stunned, so I can't soothe it. I had my hand on the button, but it was basically already done by the time I got to it. Stunned. Not lining up with the Enrage this time. Okay, not that it seemed like it was important to dispel, just something to keep myself amused. Looks like everybody stuns at the same time. Got it. Okay, there we go. Got that Swirling Vial, because this was the first Time Walk dungeon of the event that this character had done. I got the aquatic travel form for a moment. I guess there was enough water there for that. That's funny. Most of these other characters had probably been here many times, had high-level characters, but this happened to be level appropriate for me. Kind of. Yeah, because, like, Time Walking still considers Burning Crusade to be a level 70 max expansion, basically. Gotta choose my reward there. Well, there's Crocolisks after me. I could fight them here. How much do I decide to do this before I just leave? That much? Alright, that's the Black Morass. I'll see you next time.